Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Cami, and for right now, I'm calling this little video thing I'm doing Let's Have a Day. I want to talk about a few things this time that I haven't talked about in my past two videos. First of all, who am I and why am I even speaking on the internet? My name is Cami. I'm 61 years old. I'm retired, live with my husband of 21 years and my 20-year-old son, and we have a cat named Lucky. I have lived with anxiety, depression, sometimes agoraphobia, undiagnosed but probable ADHD for most of my life. And I have struggled with it pretty much every day. And my life is a constant opportunity to figure out how to deal with those and keep myself moving forward in a productive way. And productivity means different things to different people. It's going to look different every day, even different people, different day. And it could look different each hour for that matter. I mean, productivity for me means doing something other than uh, doom scrolling on YouTube. I quit TikTok completely a year and a half or so ago. Um, or playing games on my phone for far too long, for far too many hours a day just to keep my brain turned off. Or maybe even playing a video game on my computer much more than I should. And by should, I mean to the detriment of any other stuff I need to get done. Like I played No Man's Sky, still play No Man's Sky, but I would play it for hours a day. And then the things that I needed to get done, the things I call my chores, although that's a really weird word for it, but chores, wouldn't get done because I was playing video games. And so those were things I would consider non-productive. And then productivity looks like working on the the chores I have every day because I've split up the housework for things that I do every day of the week except Sundays, mostly free. And that way it makes it a little easier for me. It just takes me a half an hour to an hour every day to clean and organize the house. Organizing is another part of productivity for me. I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff that I want to keep, but I need to find an organized place for it. And that's something that I'm working on a lot. Um, Going back to who am I and why am I doing this? It's basically for accountability to myself and maybe even to others if somebody ends up watching. Although I'm going to tell you right now, I assumed that nobody would watch. I have had one friend contact me though and say that they're watching. So, hi, friend. Um, and I believe that I have useful wisdom, not to sound too pretentious, to share. I've learned a lot about life in my 61 years, dealing with mental illness, dealing with various catastrophes and tragedies and whatnot, and learning how to pick myself up and keep moving, or to, in these later years, I've learned to forgive myself for when I'm not able to pick myself up. And I'm trying, like I said, every day I'm trying to figure out what's going on with me and how can I be better. And I'm not trying to be best, and I'm not trying to tell anybody else what's better. I'm talking about doing things that make me feel like I'm doing better. So, anyhow, productivity, going back to that now, because we're skipping around. It's one of the ways that I have learned sorry, one of the ways I've learned recently to think about productivity is to, like I said, each hour, maybe it might be different, but it's to make a list of things I'd like to get done. And I use my remarkable Paper Pro tablet. Um, it works really great because when I write things down, I remember them way more than when I type them. And take stock of my mood and my energy while I'm doing that so that I don't want to make unrealistic lists. right? I want to make lists that are realistic, thinking about my current mood and my current ability to be productive, which can be affected by whether my medications are all firing off properly or whether I got enough sleep, whether I've eaten well, whether, I just anxiety and depression comes and goes, and whatever the mood is. And so if I make a list that's like for when I'm in, like the super list that would work great when I'm in a productive, rested, medicated, firing on all cylinders uh, mood, well, that list is not going to work when I'm on I just can't bring myself to do anything today mood, right? So they're different. And so the important part to not feel like a failure, at least for me, is to not give myself too much. So first, for productivity on a given day, take stock. Okay, I take stock of my mood and my energy level, and I see where I'm at. I do keep a little journal that I don't try to be too strict with, where I do kind of track my moods. I find it's difficult because a lot of journals that you find in there like track your mood, and it's like, well, what do you mean, my mood right now? Because I can't say one mood for the day. I don't know about you, but I know that I have multiple moods on any given day. Um, but sometimes I track it just to see. And if the thing is if my mood does change from where I started, then it's important for me to reassess my plan for the day. Am I pushing myself too hard? Do I need to just listen to my depression brain and just sit down and slow down? Um, and for me, productivity is also, if you look at it this way, if you're used to getting nothing done the way I am, I've spent the last several months basically doing nothing. I mean, I can't show much, although my No Man's Sky game is filled out and great, and I have played hours and hours and hours of puzzle games or whatever on my phone. Um, but that's all I really have to show for it. I'm not beating myself up. I'm just making an assessment, and that's not necessarily what I want to have to show for my time. Like I said, I'm 61. It really is time in life to start thinking about I'm on the shorter end of it, right? And every day literally does count. Doesn't count more exactly, but you know what I mean? Like, if I were to tell myself I just have 365 days left to live, how would I want to live each one of those days? And would I want to waste it scrolling or playing a video game? Not necessarily a video game, that's a different category, but a game on my phone. I can talk more about the different categories of game. Anyhow, trying to get, if I'm used to not getting anything done, then productivity for me can mean getting something done, just anything. And even if it's making a list for what I want to get done that day, but not actually doing, that's fine. That's productivity. That's a bit more because at least tomorrow, now I don't even have to make the list. I've got the list already and I can pick the first thing on it. So that's talking about productivity. And what I feel like productivity is. And one of the things I'm aiming for with this, I want to check in every day. I want to check in on how was my productivity yesterday? What's my current mood? What are a few things I'd like to accomplish today? Um, and I feel like I can do that. And if anybody ever ends up watching me or chooses to do this along with me, we can make a list to do together, and I'll be saying my stuff and you can write your stuff down or however you do it. We can check in on our moods together. We can talk about what we're doing. And beyond that, I have a lot to share. I guess wisdom is what I call it, but a lot to share about how I've learned to live life not productively. That's such a joke considering what all that I've just said, but how I've learned to not let my depression and anxiety rule me constantly, which is one thing I want to avoid. So that's almost 10 minutes, and I don't necessarily want to always keep these this long, but they might end up being that long. We'll see. This is all developing. Um, So I guess it's time to say so long for tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.